Perfect. So again, thank you all for coming to the 2022 Combined Fund Drive Statewide Volunteer Awards. We are so excited for you to be here. We know that things are still virtual. Some people love it, some people hate it. And we're trying to meet people where they're at by having an in-person event later this year for individuals that are selected as the winners. But for this larger group, to be able to get all out to you the information that we need and really to celebrate all the work that you've been doing over the past year. So thank you all again so much for coming today. I'll have some remarks towards the end of the program, but I want to get this show on the road. So again, for those of you who have not been able to personally meet, my name is Robert Lane. I am the Combined Fund Drive Manager, so I oversee day-to-day operations as well as long-term strategic planning for the program. I am joined by a wonderful cast and crew who will introduce themselves as the program presents. But we have a full staff, which is very exciting. I know for those of you who have been with us for a few years, we had a rocky few years. And so we're very excited to have everyone working in the CFD and onboarded in a long-term position. So again, I want to thank all of you for the work that you did this last year. We truly could not do the work that the Combined Fund Drive does without volunteers like you. And we recognize that this is a small gesture, but we are so grateful that you could join us today when we are celebrating all of the victories and steps that you all have taken in the last year. And so before we get started, I wanted to pass this over to our Assistant Secretary of State, Kevin McMahan, just to kind of show that we have strategic support and support from executive leadership on the offerings that the Combined Fund Drive has. And so without further ado, I would love to have Kevin share a few words with you all.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. As noted, my name is Kevin McMahan, and I am the Assistant Secretary of State. So I wanted to recognize everyone this afternoon for those outstanding individuals, groups, and organizations who have given their support to the Combined Fund Drive through your hard work and dedication. Before I do that, though, I want to acknowledge the importance of the Combined Fund Drive to those of us within the Secretary of State's office. Secretary Steve Hobbs, Deputy Secretary Randy Bullerjack, our new Chief of Staff Amanda Doyle, and myself all support the CFD and its efforts. And we think this is demonstrated by our involvement and sponsorship of CFD activities, along with co-chairing the CFD Advisory Board. We all know that CFD enables us to donate painlessly to those charities we support, which is why I give to the YWCA and the Minuteman Fund. Before we begin today, I think it'd be very helpful to provide some perspective on the challenging environment that you all operated within, yet still achieved some great success. In 2022, our state and nation was still confronting the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. The challenges that you faced were overcome by new ways of thinking and engaging our donors. We saw and experienced natural and human-made disasters here in Washington, throughout the United States and the world. And we saw uncertainty of a nation's future unfold in the Ukraine. Here within the Office of the Secretary of State, we even underwent a reorganization to better align our business efforts. We dissolved our Community Programs Division and moved the CFD capabilities into our new External Affairs. I'd like to take a moment and thank Heather Hirataka and Stephanie Prentice for your outstanding leadership and dedication as previous leaders to CFD. We look forward to watching what Charlie Boisner and Derek Nunley, our Director and Deputy Director for External Affairs, takes CFD into the future. Now, even with this uncertainty, we saw greatness. 15,000 state employees and retirees affirmed why Washington is one of the most giving states in the nation, donating nearly $4.4 million, which went to 3,100 charities and nonprofits worldwide. Our volunteers continue to impress us with your creativity by navigating this hybrid campaign, as you will see today. You answered the call and provided countless opportunities to participate and show support while being aware of the uncertain times. We understand uncertainty still exists, and we're mindful that times can be tough for many, but we hope this does not impact our resiliency and dedication to give the need, because it is still great. The next few months will be instrumental for the combined fund drive as we continue to address our aging management system in 2023, while simultaneously advancing the CFD inspirational mission and enduring legacy. I want to conclude by letting you all know that Secretary Steve Hobbs wants to ensure you're recognized for your exceptional volunteerism and effort. Our entire office wants to thank our wonderful donors, volunteers, and corporate partners for your help, hard work, and dedication. I encourage you to read the CFD annual report and understand the impact you have all made, because it matters. Now, please join me as we recognize those who have made a difference. Back to you, Robert.
Thanks, Kevin. Really appreciate it. So we will move right into the first portion of our appreciation, which is our statistical awards. And so traditionally, our components have both the statistical awards, where it is cut and dry, a clear winner when it comes to the numbers from participation, not only from a monetary standpoint, but also a volunteerism standpoint. And then later in the program, we'll move on to the individual awards and team awards that were nominated by yourself and peers. And so this measures the level of just payroll contributions when we're talking about statistical awards for agency participation. When individuals host fundraisers, not every individual is captured when that money is collected and turned in. And so we have to go off of what information is provided through individual contributions through the combined fund drive. And so this year, more than, again, as Kevin mentioned, 15,000 donors pledged to give through their paychecks. And so we, generally speaking, split this up into a few different categories. This year, we split the winners into small agencies, which represent agencies of 1 to 100 employees, medium agencies, which are 101 to 500 employees, large agencies, which are 501 or more individuals. And then this year, we have brought back and want to continue to recognize the work that our university system does, as well as our community and technical college. And so we'll be appreciating and cheering on those individuals. And so without further ado, the winners for highest participation, percentage of participation for small agency is a tie. And so we have congrats once again to the law enforcement officers and firefighters Retirement Plan 2 Retirement Board with 100% participation, as well as the Freight Mobility Strategic Investment Board. Both agencies received 100% participation, and they are small but mighty agencies that really have honed in on the mission of importance of giving. They've convinced all of their peers, whether it's 10 people or 75 people, that giving matters and that they can be a part of something bigger than themselves. And I think that's something that we really hit home with when talking about the combined fund drive, is that we are so much bigger than our individual agencies when we work together. And this is really that moment to celebrate. For medium agencies, congrats again to the Office of the Secretary of State with a 51.74% participation. I do want to dispel any rumors. Our office, although housed in the Secretary of State, does not directly oversee any of the participation or any of the events that they run. We have a dedicated campaign leader, as well as local coordinators that really show how easy and digestible it is for individuals to participate. I know, since we hear about a lot of the events that the agencies do, this year the Secretary of State hosted a taco bar for the winning division of participation. And so they pitted their divisions against each other for good. And in doing so, increased their participation just a hair. Last year, it was 51.25%. And this year, they achieved 51.74%. So a few more individuals donating with the CFD. And to give you some context, our average, when you look at all agencies combined, is somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 17% on any year. And so 51% is something to be very proud of. Congratulations, the Office of the Secretary of State. For large agencies, we recognize that large agencies is a variable. 501 plus means that it could be an agency of truly 501 FTE, all the way up to DSHS with over 17,000 employees on a given year. However, this year in 2022, we'd like to congratulate the Department of Revenue for participating with a 35.37% participation rate. Again, Department of Revenue is a large organization, and so getting all of those individuals to participate and to actively give is a huge accomplishment and should be celebrated. As I said earlier, we wanted to recognize that not all of our agencies operate the same, and we wanted to really showcase and highlight some of the differentiations. And so we brought back one of the categories that we had previously highlighted, which is our universities. So Washington State has 6 major universities, excuse me, and we're really proud to be able to partner with them. Not everyone knows that the Combined Fund Drive also encompasses our 6 universities and 32 community and technical colleges. So we are very happy to announce this year's winner of the university participation, which is Eastern Washington University with a 24.48% participation rate. And rounding out this category, community and technical colleges. Again, organizations that traditionally serve students rather than serving the public as a whole. And so they are still part of our organization and something to be extremely proud of and happy to be part of the Combined Fund Drive. And so our community and technical college winner this year will be Whatcom Community College with a 29.1% participation rate. Congratulations, Whatcom. I look forward to hopefully delivering this award to you all next month in one of our community visits. Next up is our statistical awards around volunteer hours. The volunteer tracker was created in 2014 to highlight the number of hours state employees dedicated to charity. We recognize that not every individual is able to donate monetarily. However, their donations still matter, and they matter greatly to our nonprofits that rely on volunteer hours to substitute for full-time employees. This year, more than $600,000 was saved by charities because of the volunteerism of state employees. I know that number is not an exact representation because I know not everyone is logging their hours yet, but we are trying to make it easier and have seen a tremendous increase in logged activity in the last few years. To give you some context, I believe last year was in the ballpark of $170,000 saved, which was logged. So to see that amount of increase is something to be proud of, and also shows that in this effort, moving out of the pandemic, individuals are volunteering back in their communities more and more, and I cannot wait to share the winners of this year. So again, we'll go through the 5 categories, but this year, the small agency winner will be the Washington State Housing Finance Commission with 357 hours logged. Congratulations, Washington State Housing Finance Commission. Your hours do not go unnoticed, and I know we hear a lot from our constituents and our charities about how thankful they are that state workers are involved in the community in which they serve and work. For our medium agency this year, the Liquor and Cannabis Board with 621 hours logged. Congratulations, Liquor and Cannabis Board. And for large agency this year, congratulations again to the Department of Social and Health Services with 2,315.5 hours logged. Little fun fact, DSHS tripled their hours logged from 21 to 22. So in 2021, they logged 728.5 hours. This year, they logged 2,315.5 hours. So again, really emphasizing and showcasing that those hours have monetary value. And so that's why we started including this in our annual report, because dollars saved is still a huge contribution to our community and the nonprofits that are supported by it. Similar to the participation with the volunteerism, we've re-added the categories of university and community and technical college. For the university category, we'd like to congratulate the University of Washington with 5,984.5 hours logged. Congratulations, University of Washington, on your tremendous efforts for volunteerism in the community. And finally, Community and Technical College. We'd like to congratulate Bellingham Technical College with 659 hours logged. Congratulations to truly all of the agencies and higher education institutions. It has been a pleasure, and I have always blown away at the numbers in which we see you all giving, both monetarily and volunteer-wise. So we appreciate all the work that you've been doing. We love to tell your story, and we are so humbled by the amount of work and effort that you all have put in. With that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Layla Anawina, and I'll let her introduce herself and move on to the next portion of the program. Thank you all.
Thank you, Robert. Hello, everyone. My name is Layla, and I am the Marketing and Training Coordinator for the state CFD here. This year, I had the privilege of working with a lot of you during your fundraising event planning and all those things. And I just wanted to give a huge kudos to you all. Watching your patience, your hard work through everything is really inspiring for me here. And I love working with you all, and I look forward to working with you in 2023. And I love seeing all the good things coming through from 2022. Now, with that being said, we are moving to our nominated awards. And the following awards are Executive Leadership, Local Coordinator of the Year, Individual and Team, Innovative Fundraising Event, Individual and Team, and Campaign Leader of the Year. All of these categories are crucial for making our campaign successful, and these awards are extra special because volunteers are nominated by their peers who have also seen the hard work that you all have put in. So I will be presenting the Executive Leadership Award. And this award is given to agency directors and executive management who support their volunteers and who have great enthusiasm for the CFD. The nominees for this award are Heather Bartlett and Colin Helsley. And the winner of this award is Heather Bartlett from the Department of Ecology. Heather, here's what your nominator had to say about you. Heather always helps during the executive leadership meetings, getting our program managers involved and encouraging them all to be there for their coordinators and help with their program event planning. During our last month of planning for a campaign, we met with Heather on a weekly basis to go over the stages of planning and to get her buy-in on our activities. She always makes time for the leadership team and helps us with ideas and advice. Congratulations, Heather, and thank you for all your hard work. Now I'm going to be kicking it off to Erin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Aquino, and I am the program coordinator for the Combined Fund Drive. As you may have seen, I was missing for a tiny bit during the 2022 campaign because I had a baby, but I'm back and I'm excited for 2023 and excited to congratulate all of your hard work that happened during 2022. So now I will be presenting the Local Coordinator of the Year Award. Local coordinators are the busy bees that help the CFD flourish. They are everywhere, from Walla Walla to Kitsap and all places in between. These individual volunteers host events and promotions in their specific offices and divisions. They work together alongside their campaign leaders to help run a successful and terrific campaign. This year, we received an incredibly amazing number of local coordinator nominee submissions. And the nominees are Stephanie Peters, Michelle Geyer, Christine Carlisle, Connie Becker, Sherry Stockenberg, Lisa Dublin, Lindsay Largent, Juliana Weber, Kathy Hellman, Dee Rudman, Jennifer Maythaler, Chris Anderson, Carla Sullivan, Haley Bobbitt, Yelena Kazitskaya, Michael Schwartz, Barb Cleveland, Tammy Kendall, Melissa Blanc, Thaxton Page, Kathleen O'Shea Senecal, Paulette York, Kendra Sanford, Eli Levitt, Jackie Parker, Beverly Pogue, Megan Kelland. Got one more. Many nominees. Carrie Meyer, John Gray, Alyssa Olson, Sierra Aylesworth, Tamara Engelhart, Patty Hampton, Janice Campbell, Kien Hien, and Emily Goodstein. Congratulations to all the nominees. And now, the winner of our Northern Washington region is Patty Hampton with the Department of Veterans Affairs. Here's what your peers had to say about you. Patty is the best. When you need help, she's the first one to step up. Patty gets things done seemingly, effectively, efficiently, and with grace. She was instrumental in many fundraising activities at the Washington Veterans Home in 2022. She helped set up, serve, and clean up after the chili cook-off that raised over $500. She also helped put together and deliver the Kudos for Kindness fundraiser that raised over $600. Fantastic job and congratulations, Patty. And now, the winner of our Southern Washington region, Stephanie Peters with the Washington State Patrol. Some kind words about Stephanie. Ms. Peters has been the local coordinator for the last 4 years. During virtual meetings, she would bring fun and creative ideas. She was always willing to help wherever there was a need. The majority of the functions we had were her ideas that she suggested. Along with helping coordinate agency-wide events, she also successfully put together events in her own district. These events included a virtual pet costume contest, Super Bowl soup contest, and the Civil War Apple Cup event. In my opinion, these were all successful events. I am truly impressed how she got all of the staff in her district to get involved and get motivated to give. Congratulations, Stephanie. And now, the winner for our Western Washington region is Tammy Kendall, Department of Ecology. And now some words about Tammy. Tammy has been a CFD coordinator for years. She has also been a campaign leader in the past. She attends the trainings and also shares her wealth of knowledge with newer coordinators. She helps out at multiple events throughout the campaign, and each year she hosts her own event, the Farmers Market. It's always a hit, and this year she raised $1,591. She is always so kind and helpful when people have questions about her event or anything else. She goes above and beyond. She has a passion for CFD and it rubs off on others. She is truly an inspiration and she brings a giving energy that is just so good for the team morale. Amazing work, Tammy. Thank you. And now, the winner of our Eastern Washington region, Beverly Pogue, Employment Security Department. Kudos from your colleagues. Bev coordinated for all of Employment Security Department Eastern Washington and UISC statewide. She coordinated all CFD meetings, delegated responsibilities, and thought of fundraising events, which was a challenge as it was all done virtually. She spent numerous hours making the fundraising events a success. She was an excellent coordinator, leader, motivator, and donator. Bev also participated in the talent show and won second place. All fundraising events donated exceeding $13,000. Thank you, Bev, for making a huge difference. Congratulations, Bev. So, along with the individual local coordinator awards, we are also honoring teams of volunteers and their efforts. Campaigns thrive most when there's input and the enthusiasm of a strong team. These teams and their leaders were nominated by their peers for their amazing work with the CFD. And the nominees are
This one is the callback.
Department of Social and Health Services, DDA Region 3 CFD team, which include Michelle Geyer, Christy McPherson, Randy Simpson-Goss, Carla Covington, Amy Ballard, Karina Robinson, Kim McCarty, Lori Elliott, Becky Fife, Kyle Eddington, and Micah Rand. Additional nominees, the Ecology CFD team duo of Chris Anderson and Barbara Anderson. And finally, the Department of Corrections Washington State Penitentiary CFD team, which included Carrie Meyer, Kitsy Brannick, Joni Smith, and Brandy Munns. And the winner is Department of Corrections Washington State Penitentiary CFD team led by Carrie Meyer. And a bit about the DOC WSP team. This team put forth great efforts to assist me. I ran some of the same fundraising events as we had in the past. These girls really stepped up and helped whenever possible with tallying, sorting, giving items out, and collecting donations. They were incredible. Flyers were made, emails were sent, and a positive, friendly attitude helped to make each event a success. 3 events were done: cancer t-shirt sales, candygrams, and an online silent auction. The unique thing this year was WSP ran the silent auction adjacent to a fundraising event that was done for a staff member who had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The fundraiser for the staff member raised $14,000, and the silent auction raised $15,000. So nearly $30,000 was raised by WSP staff to help others in need, with the other combined collections of $4,000 for charities in some very trying financial times. Wow! Go WSP. Great job, Department of Corrections CFD team. And now I'm going to pass it on to Renee.
Hi, my name is Renee Lewis. I'm the fiscal specialist for the CFD. I'm excited to be presenting this exact same award for the second time in a row. I will be presenting the Innovative Fundraising Event of the Year Award. I'm going to be presenting the individual and team innovative awards. This year's Individual Innovative Fundraising Event Award will go to 2 nominees, one from the Eastern region and one from the Western region. The Team Innovative Fundraising Event Award will go to 1 team representing the entire state. In 2022, the CFD campaign focused on increasing donations by giving 2 in 22. There were so many great fundraisers that promoted this idea. Our team was impressed with the imagination put into all of the events. They were inclusive and engaged remote and in-office employees. We also loved witnessing the return of food in events and the annual favorite in-office events. The individual and teams nominated this year hosted the most successful and creative fundraisers, helping us to raise over $4 million in 2022. And the nominees for the Individual Innovative Fundraising Event are Chris Anderson with Ecology and the online auction, Michelle Brown with ESD for the virtual cookbook, Anthony Parks with ESD hosting the virtual talent show, Katie Bentley McHugh with Ecology hosting the Nacho Average fundraiser, and Beverly Pogue with ESD Give 2 in 22. And the winner for the Western region is Chris Anderson with the online auction. Chris Anderson is with Ecology. And Chris, here's what some of your peers had to say about you. This was Chris Anderson's 20th year hosting the online auction. The execution of his event was just so wonderfully done. This is due to the planning and prepping that is done well before the event begins. Chris is service-oriented and has been all of his life. Chris wants to help others, and with his efforts in the online auction, he is definitely doing that. Chris promoted the online auction months before it began. Over 250 items were donated with an estimated value of $18,000. He made sure to let staff know they were appreciated for their donations and that he could not have done this without them. This event was so successful and raised over $9,700 this year. In the past 20 years, the online auction has raised over $100,000. Chris is an inspiration to all. Fantastic work, Chris. Thank you so much for all you've done. And then on to our Eastern region. The winner is Anthony Parks from Employment Security Department with the virtual talent show. Anthony, here's what your peers had to say about you. Tony attended majority of the CFD team meetings, gave great ideas, and participated in coordinating the event fundraisers. He is very creative and served as our MC and Trivia King and was responsible for the technical support. We had statewide talent, videos, music, and all ages participated. We could not have done it without him. He was one of the stars of the show, and the talent show raised almost $2,000 in 2 hours. Congratulations, Anthony. Now we're going to move straight over to the fundraising event team of the year. The nominees for this event, or for this award, are Department of Veterans Affairs, utilizing the QR code, and Department of Ecology with the Survivor Challenge. And the winner is the Ecology CFD team with the Survivor Challenge, led by Camille Onge and Heather Bartlett. Here is what your peers had to say about you guys. This event was well organized from the start. 4 teams were created and made of the executive team members with names related to the environment: air, land, water, and climate. Email communications went out before the campaign started to create hype for the 2022 CFD campaign. The emails were shared in our program, encouraging donations to the team of your choice, while encouraging you to donate to your program executive. Each week, there were updates on the numbers of donations, highlighting matching donations made by the executive team. This increased the total amount raised dramatically. Heather Bartlett, the Ecology CFD executive sponsor, also included info in on this challenge in her monthly communication to the agency. There were a number of executive sponsors that challenged donations and matched once the totals got higher. The team with the most money raised got to choose the challenges that the teams would participate in at the campaign kickoff. The kickoff event was held at the Eastern Regional Office, bringing our offices together with watch parties at each region. This event raised $10,336.44 before the campaign even started. It really brought our program and regions together in more ways than one. Teaming up together in 4 teams, challenging each other to donate, having the kickoff at another region besides headquarters, and participating in challenges together as a team. The day of the kickoff, the day of the kickoff was fun to watch executive team members do silly things. Each region had a food event at the watch parties as well. Truly a great success for the campaign and bringing the agency all together. Congratulations, Ecology CFD team, and congratulations to all of our nominees. You guys did such a great job at everything you did. Now I'm going to hand everything back to Erin.
Hello again. So now I will be presenting the Campaign Leader of the Year. Being a campaign leader is a year-long position. Once you are recruited at the beginning of the year, your job is to point your agency in the right direction and support all of your local coordinators as much as possible. It can be a tough job, but also rewarding. And these nominees went above and beyond to create incredible success stories. And the nominees are Matthew Ping, Camille St. Onge, Lacey Kuhlman, Sally Brown, Andrea Siebert, Michelle Leal, Jeannie Lenz, Lynn Ledgerward, and Gary Lott. Congratulations to all of the nominees. This year, the scores were so close that we are recognizing not one, but two campaign leaders. We received multiple nominations for both nominees, showing the magnitude of their impact within their agencies. The first winner I'll be announcing is Camille St. Onge with Department of Ecology. Kudos about Camille. Camille is a communications specialist. So when she came to our CFD team, she brought a whole new world to our leadership team. She is motivational, loves a challenge, and is hands down one of the most giving and inspirational people you will ever meet. She took an agency of over 1,900 people and ignited their competitiveness and their giving spirits when she planned the Ecology Survivor Challenge for our kickoff. Before our campaign even started, she had inspired the entire agency to donate $10,366 just to have bragging rights and to choose the Survivor Challenge. This is beyond anything we've ever seen or done before, and Camille made it happen. Amazing job, Camille. Thank you so much. And now, our other campaign leader winner is Sally Brown, Department of Ecology. More about Sally from your peers. Sally Brown is such an amazing leader who encourages others and is always happy to help with questions. She puts so much effort into the campaign and educating all of the coordinators to make sure they are supported. She motivates us all and leads by example. She makes sure resource guides are uploaded to our CFD site to help our coordinators throughout the campaign and is always happy to meet with coordinators when they have questions. She is very encouraging, enthusiastic, and passionate about the CFD, and it rubs off on the other volunteers. She even hosted her own Krispy Kreme event, which raised $953. She makes sure to thank us for our work, root for our success, and ensure we have the support we need to accomplish our various fundraisers. Her leadership is what made us successful in raising over $35,000 for our campaign. Awesome job, and thank you so much, Sally. Congratulations to all the nominees and winners for the Campaign Leader of the Year. And now, back to the CFD manager, Robert Lane.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us today. I have a few words to share with you all. And really, I think that if nothing else, sharing these moments and sharing these stories is just a glimpse of what the CFD can really do for your organization, as well as impacting the community. I think it's really easy for individuals who don't get it to say, oh, they're just having a bunch of fun, they're not actually working, things aren't happening, and it's quite the opposite. We are making an impact in our communities. We are making an impact in our organization. The CFD can be used as a tool for belonging and a tool for retention. You can see through these stories that these individuals feel so much more than just a job, right? They are part of something not only for themselves, but for others. And so really the word that I am often left with is inspired. The last few years have been incredibly tough for state workers, for the community. It has been challenging. There are moments where what once was is no longer, and we've had to change and adapt. And there have been really hard conversations. There have been moments where we feel defeated or feel like, well, this event isn't what it used to be. And when I feel like that, or when I'm reviewing something, really, I look at these types of nominations and remind myself of the work and the visionary leadership you all are giving each and every day, in addition to your job. And I think that's something that goes often without really thinking. Like, all of these individuals are doing these parts of their job as that little tiny line that says other duties as assigned. And they have either been voluntold or volunteered into these roles and have really ran with it and made it part of the identity of their agency, that they are a given agency, that they care about the community that they live and work and serve in. And so I know that for those of you who have worked with our office in the last year, there have been some trying moments. There have been some issues with our donor management system, or files not working correctly, or links not working correctly. And when I am in those moments, I often look and reflect back on these types of stories to really keep us all moving forward and remind us why we're here, why we do the work that we do, and really just to keep pushing forward with all of that grace and humbleness that I get when I think about all the work that you all do. Next slide, please. Thank you. And so again, a real quick recap of just some of the data. We had 15,018 donors this year. That was a slight decrease. However, we received some very strange, turbulent instances in the year of 2022, right? There were individuals that sought early retirement. There were individuals that left state agencies. And often there are agencies that are currently not filled to capacity with their FTE, right? And so we experienced a slight downturn in donations, but our donors, but 15,000 is not a number to scoff at. It's not a number to be ashamed of. It's a number to be celebrated, that the fact that through these times, we were able to retain as many people as we did and add new faces to our program. For 2022, we are pledging, or for 2023, we are pledging $4.5 million. So again, this is to be expected with the all of the things that have happened in the world. But we are incredibly proud that we're still competitive within all the states. Not all states have released their numbers yet. For those of you who have been around, we often compete with Texas and California for spots 1, 2, and 3. And I believe that that will be the case for moving forward into this year of being a top 3 in the nation once again for giving as a statewide entity. Again, 20,308.5 hours donated. We use an independent researcher, and there's a collective that kind of showcases a real-time value of an hour of volunteerism for any nonprofit. And so the rate in which we used to calculate a few weeks ago was at $29.95 an hour of value add to an organization. And so that's how we're able to attribute over a little over $600,000 of savings for our nonprofits in the local and statewide community, which is truly just so humbling in so many ways. And at the end of the day, last year, after paying all of our bills and getting all the money that we raised directly for the CFD, we ended up dispersing $3.69 million and some change to designated charities. And so an incredibly large number, something to be very proud of, and something to continue to hang our hat on as we kind of close the chapter of 2022 and move right into 2023. So you might be thinking, well, Robert, you've shown up to these for a few years now and you've been saying a lot of words and not a lot has changed yet, right? And so Yes, I hear you. I agree. And I'm so excited about the work that we have been doing in order to really take the CFD to the next level. And so the first thing that we'll be doing in the very near future is actually updating our website to be mobile friendly, reliable, and a good source of information. For those of you who have not, for those of you who have tried to go to our website using a mobile phone, you have very quickly realized that our website was built about 10 years or so ago and not very mobile friendly. And so we are super excited to be in the next actual 3 weeks, we'll be migrating our website over. It'll still be give.wa.gov, but it'll have a new feel. It'll be mobile friendly. We'll be able to host better information, a little bit more in navigating. And so Layla and I have been working with our communications team as well as WATech to really lay out a way in which the information makes sense, is easy and accessible for individuals, but for the most part will feel very similar as far as navigating through. It will just be easier to look at, a nice set, fresh design, and something that can be updated more easily without having to utilize IT resources. And so we'll be utilizing a platform that anyone on our team can edit that information and get it up to date, so we can promote events for you all on our website easier, as well as sharing information about the upcoming campaign. And so I know that this has been something that we've been saying for 2 cycles now, but I can promise you it is happening in the next 3 weeks. And I'm super excited to see that first step in the kind of facelift of the combined fund drive. Next is the strive for continuous improvement around our aging donor management system. This is, again, something that we've talked about for a while, is that our donor management system is at the end of life. Some of you have experienced this firsthand, where we have accidentally taken an extra payment from you, or we have accidentally taken the wrong payment from you, based on the file transfers and some of the issues that we've kind of worked through. Our senior leadership has never been more committed to solving this issue. And I can say confidently that everyone is on the same page for the first time in a long time around this issue, which I think is a great first step. We have sought out a funding through the state legislature, and if that becomes available to us, I will share that all with you. If that doesn't become available to us, the Secretary of State is already talking about what those alternative plans would look like, how we could continue to mitigate our current system and make it more reliable, more resilient, and more user-friendly, because we recognize that the application is 16 years old and we haven't necessarily kept up to date with user preferences, and other entities are outpacing us, and we recognize that. But we are currently addressing that and should hopefully have some information to you soon. We have entered in our feasibility study with an outside vendor, which is kind of the second step of our process. The first step was a systems requirement document that really outlined all the things that we needed our system to do. A feasibility study is really the option for a third-party vendor to say, based on what you need, this is what we think you should do. And so that could look like a software as a solution. That could look like a platform as a solution, where we build customized modules on top of a software, or that could look like a custom-built solution. And so we're working through that process, and we'll have the results of the feasibility study by the end of this fiscal year, which will best prepare us moving forward to actually address some of these system issues that we've been working on for the time that our current team has been here. The next is to we wanted to celebrate and recognize our donors and volunteers through a multitude of platforms and mediums to show appreciation to our supporters. I think that we have attempted to do this as far as increasing the spotlight, increasing the amount of people that we're recognizing when we have 40 volunteers nominated for local coordinator, it is unjust to do one local coordinator winner. And so we looked at it strategically and thought, how do we divide this up in a way that's equitable when it comes to individuals, how many people are nominated, what can a region look like, to ensure that people are getting their moment in the spotlight. Nobody really does this work for the glory. You all certainly don't do it for the paycheck, but we sincerely appreciate the work that you do, and we want to create more moments where we can celebrate you and we can recognize the hard work that you've been doing for us on behalf of us, and continue to strive to push the needle for your individual agencies. And so if there are more events, if there are other ideas, we are always open to that. We love sprinkling in some of these in-person events. We love coming to your events if we get invited and we're able to. Not all of us can always come, but we try to divide and conquer for some of the high-profile events that you put on. And we love receiving an invite so we can really understand the work that you're all doing. And so again, this was one of our goals for last year, and I believe that we tried to build upon that, and we also recognize that we can continue to build on that and always strive for better recognition and celebrations of our key volunteers in the organization. One of the goals last year that I outlined for you all was to increase participation and collective relationships with agencies in a multifaceted approach to reverse the trend of decreased participation. Can you tell that it was a SMART goal for my PDP or something along those lines? Really, we wanted to ensure that we ask the question why, right? Like, it's great to celebrate those that are involved, but we wanted to ask the question, why were some of those individuals who weren't participating? And some of it was truly lack of visibility. Our organization doesn't require a campaign leader. We encourage campaign leaders. But because we are for individuals, if we don't hear from an individual agency, it's sometimes hard to follow up. And so we made sure to look at our lowest participating agencies and make intentional conversation with those individuals, as well as reconnecting them to the CFD. And I know that we kind of talked about some things not going our way as far as a decrease in amount money received or a decrease in participation, but there were some things to celebrate. For instance, the Lieutenant Governor's Office increased participation by 21.43%. Centralia College went from a 1% participation rate to a 13% participation rate. There are some movable numbers that we can look at and see that when we invest as the state CFD into those agencies and rekindle that relationship, that they see the value in our organization. And so we can have we can have 120 of these organizations similar to Ecology, DOC, ESD, UW, the individuals that won these awards today. That can be across the state. It's just a matter of re-engaging them and telling them the value of the combined fund drive. And so for those of you who reached out this year and really upped your game, even things like the State Parks and Recreation Commission, I know that they really wanted to increase participation, and they did. And so there were some organizations that, due to no fault of their own, had a decrease in participation, but there were also organizations that kind of rose from the ashes during a really tumultuous year and showed that we can still increase, we can still participate, and we can still inspire individuals to give, even during these hard times. And so we'll continue to do that in the next year and look at some of our lower participation agencies, ask the question why, and how can we better serve you to get individuals to understand the value of the combined fund drive. And we're always just going to track and work towards keeping our administration low while increasing fundraising dollars. Obviously, with the loss of the masquerade ball, individuals keep asking us, what is our new next fundraiser? What is our new next fundraiser? And the real answer is we want to make sure that we have a robust system that works properly before we get tangled up in an event that is very laborsome, although it's very fun. but we want to make sure that our priorities are a good, well-oiled machine, that then we can do some of that frill and bring back some of those in-person events. And so we've continued to cut costs where we can without cutting the level and quality of programming that we're providing to you. And so making educated decisions, like our leadership breakfast having a hybrid option, where right now we're filling 150, and if we start to have a wait list for that, we can consider to increase it. But finding that middle ground where some people are now calling in is some of those opportunities that we can have to really make sure that our administrative cost is kept low and appropriate for you all, so you see it as a value add using the CFD and not just a middleman that's taking a portion of your money. We definitely want to fight that. And so we just wanted to really be short, concise, but celebrate the moments and the highlights for all of you in this past year. This event really kind of marks the bookend of the 2022 campaign. Even though we are in a quarter way of 2023, we are looking forward to announcing our theme very, very soon. However, this will really conclude the participation of the 2022 campaign. As Kevin said, please look at the annual report if you'd like to see a detailed breakdown of everything that we did. We tried to highlight and include more personal stories, and so it's a little more of a lighter read than it has been in the past, and we've kind of put our own spin on it. But sincerely appreciate you taking an hour out of your time to celebrate your peers, to celebrate for yourself if you were nominated. Again, congratulations. If you were nominated, we will follow up with a certificate for you. And if you received an award and were a winner, we'll be reaching out to you to talk about in-person activity as well as getting you your plaque or award. So congratulations to everyone. We could not, again, do this without you. Are so appreciative of the time, labor, and love that you put in, and can't wait for a 2023 campaign to be better and bigger than ever. Thank you all.